My name is Faisa Aiden, and I'm going to be doing the presence of racial discrimination on poverty for my informative speech today. I hope this information helps someone or gives you a little bit more information on what that really means. So for us to do that, we have to look at the different demographics or perspectives living in America today. Okay, so we have the wealthy, the poor, the racial minority groups, indigenous communities, and a plethora of others that all have different perspectives of the American dream. The American dream, which was a term coined in the early 1900s by a historian, refers to that dream of a land in which life should be better, richer, and fuller for every man, with opportunity for each according to his ability or his achievement. So what does it have to do with poverty, economic status, or racial discrimination? Well, according to the World Bank, 10% of the world population lives on less than $1.90 a day. On the other hand, according to the 2016 U.S. Census data, the highest poverty rate by race in America is found among Native Americans, which was 27%. Blacks had 26%, and Caucasians only had 8% suffering from poverty. Why is there such a massive disparity in the amount of colored versus white? Is color a factor when determining income? While color isn't something we can control, for many centuries, people of color were seen as different or less than due to historical oppressions. Mark Twain once said, "The outside influences are always pouring in upon us, and we are always obeying their orders and accepting their verdicts." Society is largely influenced by history. Previous facts from history became stereotypes, and society continued to believe them, which led to these minority groups and certain racial groups remaining stagnant as society progressed, and eventually led to racial discrimination. In the novel Nickel and Dimed by Barbara Ehrenreich, a journalist who experimented the low-wage life, observed that certain racial groups are seen as less than, especially in the workforce. Ehrenreich mentions the difficulties in treatment of people of color in the working class and how that looked like, how it affected her. An example of this would be the time she mentioned the harsh truth of living in poverty. Ehrenreich states, "There are no secret economies that nourish the poor. On the contrary, there are a host of special costs. If you can't put up the 2 months' rent you need to secure an apartment, you end up paying through the nose by the week for a room. You eat fast food or the hot dogs and styrofoam cups of soup that can be microwaved in a convenience store. Not only do people struggle to pay for necessities such as food, shelter, water, but these special costs also cause those to face even more adversity. The minimum annual income an individual needs to survive is $43,000. However, 12.3% of Americans are earning less than that. So what does this mean for the 40 million Americans that are living in poverty or suffering from it because they earn less than the recommended amount? It means they don't have access to clean water, home, food, education, and a healthy lifestyle. So let's imagine that, especially during this virus pandemic time. What would it feel like to not have a home, to not have water, to not have these necessities that you really do need, whether a pandemic is upon you or not? In the novel, Nickel and Dimed, she also stated that she had a healthy lifestyle and was pleased with her wealth. However, she wanted to experience the genuine lifestyle of a person suffering from poverty. So, she traveled many places across the nation to observe and know the truth of poverty, the story that doesn't hide details, a reality of 40 million Americans. So as expected, she uncovered the truth. She found that certain racial groups were suffering from poverty due to racial discrimination. But why? Why is discrimination an issue? Is Mark Twain right about the historical oppressions and the thoughts of society? Unfortunately, discrimination is a challenge many people face in the workforce and in society. However, 50 years later, and a continued knowledge of what it really means to be colored, what it really means to be in a society, a functioning society with many problems, the coming together of communities establishes the foundation for equality and equity. So, while 40 million Americans, and plus since that was from 2016, continue to suffer from poverty and a plethora of issues still plague them, we as a society can work together to really do well, to really try to make these statistics go lower. So yeah, that is my informative speech on the presence of racial discrimination on poverty, based off of Barbara Ehrenreich and a few other sources that I've used. I hope this information is found useful, and I hope to see everyone in class soon.